What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. here at the Black Boss Channel with Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have a special guest in the building today, offensive lineman for Grambling State University football, Coach Hugh Jackson's team, Mr. Romello Watson. Romello, how's it going, man?
Oh man, it's going good, Mr. Lightly, man. We're just grinding, man, trying to get ready for this season.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of that, you guys had an amazing spring game, an amazing turnout for everything. But before we get to that, Romello, I know you've done a few of these interviews before, but I want to take it back a bit. Let's go back to high school. You say you grew up in the DFW area. What was football like playing high school football in Texas, man? What was that like?
Man, to me, I feel like everybody want to have this argument, where people are from and stuff. But I feel like Texas is the best high school football. The environment, the area, just the love for football in Texas. That's just genuine. I don't really feel like you can find that nowhere else. I haven't seen it nowhere else, because it's like Texas is just the football is just money for us.
Yeah, you're right about that. I see they put millions and millions of dollars into stadiums at high school
Oh, for
football
sure, for sure.
schools in Texas. It's crazy. But what got you started in football, Romello? Who was the person that kind of first put a football in your hand or told you, like, hey, you might be all right out there on the football field?
I'll say my dad. He got me really started playing football because growing up watching University of Michigan play. They didn't have some
Mhm.
season, so it's like growing up watching them play. I kind of wanted to play football, but I also was trying to hoop at the same time too because I love
Okay.
basketball too. So it was kind of a shake in and air. But when I remember I went to my the last high school where I graduated from Arlington Seguin, the coach there at the time, I remember me and my mom, we walked the registration. He was like, "Man, we need you on the football field." And at the time, I kind of was brushing them off because basketball was just what I wanted to do. And I kind of gave him a chance, and I went on the football field, and they kind of flipped a little bit. I kind of stopped playing basketball a little bit more, and football was just the way at that point.
Now you talked about your senior year. Your senior year led to an opportunity to play JUCO football. Just what was that like?
Mhm.
Your recruitment in high school and how you ended up going the JUCO route.
I didn't in high school. I done probably seen every school from Arkansas State to Tulsa. That it came to the school, but at the time when they was coming to me for defensive line. They wasn't really coming at me for O line. So when I made that
Mm.
switch, it was kind of like, okay, well, that's kind of different. And people didn't really want to take a chance on me as an offensive lineman. So when I had picked up the offers of Kilgore, TJC, I had one Division II offer in Angelo State. And at that time, I was like, man, I feel like I'm a Division I offensive lineman. So I just said, man, let me go ahead and take my talent to Kilgore when they're number 6 in the nation.
Now, what was that experience like? You like you said, you played at a top JUCO program at Kilgore. You were there for played some years there. What was it like playing there at Kilgore, and what were you able to take from that you're now bringing over to Grambling?
Oh man, it was very, I'll say, exciting. Walking around as a Kilgore College football player was like, yeah, 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 you the man for sure. Especially when you starting there and stuff. Like my first year there, my freshman year there, it was fresh off of the number 6 ranking. So it's like kind
Hmm.
of they were getting ready for the season. So I kind of really due to knee injury and things, I kind of didn't really play my freshman year. But when I doubled back on the COVID year, that spring.
Yeah.
Man, that was exciting because we was 7-0 at the time. We had lost one game to Cisco, and one of my teammates was just crazy. He played against me at the Cisco game, so it's kind of like me and him be kind of having that little Kilgore versus a Cisco kind of beef a little bit. But
Okay.
it was kind of crazy because man, being 7-0, number 2 in the nation, like you don't ain't that many times you see some people do that. So it was kind of the feeling to have that, and that championship experience that I picked up, I kind of felt like I could take that to Grambling, win another one. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. Once again, we're talking to Romello Watson, offensive lineman at Grambling State University. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, like, share, and subscribe. Now, Romello, you had a ton of offers. After doing your thing at Kilgore, you
Hmm.
had a bunch of options: North Carolina A&T, Austin P. I think I seen uh, Tennessee Martin, Tennessee, all these different schools. But what was it about Coach Hugh Jackson and Grambling that caught your eye? Well, when did they jump into the mix, and then what kind of caught your eye made you decide like, hey, that's the place I want to be?
Well, Grambling always was in the mix for me at first because they were my first offer, first big D1 offer. So it was like I always had that love for Grambling. Even before Coach Hugh, it was like when Coach Ross had offered me at the time, I was
Okay.
still interested in them. But at the end of the day, when I seen the fact that Coach Hugh Jackson got there, man, it was that became a business decision at that point. It was more of, well, do you want to go somewhere and just play football just for the love of it, or do you just want to go somewhere where you can try to make the league? You can go,
Mm.
you can try to boost your stock. Learn things from a man that did it at the high level, and the level that I want to get to. So I was like, man, Grambling really came in the picture when they hired Coach Hugh Jackson, and then all the other coaches start coming in. It was a no brainer at that point.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, when you take your visit, we're rewinding back a little bit. When you take your visit down to Grambling, you talk to Coach Hugh. What was kind of like his pitch to have you come down and be a part of his first recruiting class at Grambling?
It's kind of funny because I always tell people this. Like, I've never really taken a visit to Graham before I had signed, because the way it was like I had a time period of when I was making my decision from December, because I passed on the early signing day, so it was like
Okay.
kind of shaky at that point. So I had a time period of when I was deciding from December to like January 10th, and at the time, it was a dead period. So
Hmm.
only, let me see, after January 7th, I was only available to do one visit, and that was to Charleston State after that. So I kind of really didn't get a chance to take a visit. But what made me kind of, what Coach U pitched to me was when me and my teammate Wallace Winamba, he put us in a group FaceTime, me, Coach U, Coach Simon, and at the time, Coach Ross was the O-line coach still at the time. And they
Hmm.
had put us in the group chat, man. It was Twin Towers. They're selling the word Twin Towers. So it was like me and my partner Wall, we looked at each other like, man, I ain't gonna lie. There's another opportunity to go play with each other at a high level, same position, same love, that's good right there. You don't get that anywhere else.
Yeah, and we've actually had Wallace on here, man, and he kind of told a similar story just about how building that first class at Grambling was special to him, and really building with Coach Hugh and being able to do what you guys hope to do was something that really attracted and lured him as well. Now, speaking of building and what you guys are doing at Grambling, you just had a spring game that brought out
Hmm.
5,000 people, that brought out the Pivot podcast, that just had all the bells and whistles and everything that went with it. Just talk to me about that spring game and that spring game environment. What was it like for you?
Oh man, it was amazing. See, it like I probably only played in a crowd that big, like Grant, like Kilgore versus Cisco. Like that was the last I played in the crowd that big. So
Mm-hmm.
it was amazing just to see the environment, man. 5,000 at a spring game, that's crazy. I never really just heard of that. It's like Bama or something. And people like just the festivities outside of it alone was amazing too. And as the spring game went on, that was a good opportunity to learn, what to do when, like, before the season starts, and how to like perform during a football game. How to perform during the season, and it showed me, just to key in on different things, like techniques that I need to work on, or
Mm-hmm.
some speed training I need to work on. It just showed me different things from that speed game for sure.
Now, you're someone that's played multiple positions on the offensive line. Where does Grambling have you playing? Are you playing more center? Are you playing more guard? And what are the biggest nuances to playing, like the differences between playing center and guard and tackle on the O line for people that don't understand?
I'm right now. I'm kind of at a guard position because, like, I feel like I want to pull. I want to show my
Okay.
athleticism off back. So it's like guard for me is just, that's a no brainer. I'm one of the dudes that I feel like that when Coach UB goes to the play card, man, we gotta pull. You know what I'm saying? It's me, Romello. Just pull Mello every time. That's how I feel. And it's for the people that don't understand, guard. I'm gonna say this: guard is like one of the positions. It's like, to play guard, you got to be a bully. I feel like you
Yeah.
can't be like, that's the bully. That's the dude that's gonna pull and gonna knock you on your butt every time. That's the dude that has to make a decision who to come back and help the center, or stay out there with the tackle. So it's like, you really, guard really is that undefined position. That's like almost, they say center is the captain of the whole line. It is, but I feel kind of like the guard has the most responsibilities too. And for center, it's just man, you're the captain. So it's like you gotta control everything. You gotta voice everything. You have to be that man with that opinion. You're the quarterback of the offensive line at the time. So it's like that's kind of where it kind of differs it when it comes to guard and center.
Now, speaking of Grambling, for those who don't understand, Grambling's offense struggled last year, and you guys have brought in a ton of influx of talent from the quarterback position, the offensive line, the skill players, running backs, receivers, all that stuff. What can people expect from heading into fall camp? Obviously, you guys just wrapped up your spring, but heading into fall camp, what can the fans expect as far as that offensive unit and what you guys hope to look to improve upon from last year's team to this year's team?
The one thing I know that's going to prove, so we're going to put some points on that scoreboard. Like just off back, I'm just going to say that because as a dude that came from the number one offense in the nation at JUCO for the past 3 years, I've witnessed nothing but scoring touchdowns. I've been in games where we put 60 on somebody. So it's like I know for a fact we're going to put some points on that scoreboard. That's just what I believe, and I don't believe in nothing different. And the offense that Coach Hugh got going, man, it is amazing. Once you really it's an NFL type of offense, because the schemes, the language is totally different. Like as a college football player, you kind of just think, oh well, they'll dumb it down a little bit. Nah, it's the language itself. You got to be ready for that next level. So it's like he's kind of challenging you. You know what I'm saying? Either you go sit here and learn, you go sink swim. An example, you gonna learn, or you just gonna sit there and get the next man move up in the way. You feel me?
Hey, I love it. The fans, the Graham fam is loving to hear that, man, because I understand, like, sometimes we get enamored with like the spring game and stuff, but that's just a glorified practice at the end of the day. And I understand that it wasn't a bunch of points scored during the spring game, but that has no reflection or doesn't directly reflect what we're going to see this fall. And I understand this fall, there'll be some things that'll get tightened up after spring game. I'm sure you guys had meetings and talks and things like that, but by fall camp, like, what are you expecting from your team? I know there'll probably be some more roster moves. Some guys will, leave. Some guys will come in. But what are you expecting heading into fall camp from this team as far as, just from your perspective, from, Romello's perspective, and then from the overall offensive perspective?
From my perspective, man, I'm just expecting energy. I'm expecting high energy. I'm expecting championship vibes. I'm expecting the mindset like, hey, we're finna do what we gotta do. We're finna win that thing. And that's to me, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to coming in the summer, man, and trading the summer workouts. You already know, you could tell the energy's just switched. You could tell it's a championship mindset. People say, "Oh, wait, I said, the nose is in the air too high or the head's too high." Nah, I just feel like if you feel like you can win the championship, why would you feel any different? You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. So that's the energy I'm expecting as soon as we get there. And from a team outlook, I'm expecting, big time playmakers to make plays. Myself, an example. We have to be able to at the moment that we need to make a play, we got to be able to make a play because that's what we're here for. That's what Coach Hugh offered us for. He ain't offered us to sit on the bench and, look around. He offered us to go out there and make plays. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely, absolutely. Once again, we're talking to Romello Watson of Grambling State football. Now, Romello, just from everything about Grambling as of right now, just the energy is through the roof. It just seems like you guys are having a good time. It seems like everything is really flowing. You had some bumps in the road early on, but now everything seems to be flowing. Just from your, since you've been on campus, how has it been just outside of football, just being a student at Grambling? What has that been like for you?
Oh man, the atmosphere is amazing. Like I love my grand fam. I said this before. The energy you could tell it switched off back. When as soon as they announced their recruiting class, and all of us started to get on campus and stuff, and even before the spring game, after the spring game, man, you can really tell. It's like now we're trying to say, okay, it's football time. Now it's ready. We ready to see what Graham has, and you ready to see what y'all got going in the bag, man. But I remember our first workout, it was kind of like it was a rainy day, but it was like early in the morning. Man, I remember we had the music blasting from the stadium so loud because we was the energy. Man, a girl had tweeted on Twitter talking about some, hey, y'all woke me up out of my room. Y'all better win this year. You know, that's how she did. But shoot, I agree with, hey, the energy. You know, we got to have that energy. I told her, I said, hey, we going to do something this year for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I can just tell you from, what I've experienced just doing what I do, the Graham fam, they love them some football, man. They love it because it's Grambling, what I'll say is enriched in history. Now, for you being a current player and a younger man, you obviously didn't live through the Eddie Robinson era and things like that. But are those kind of things, the history of Grambling, is that kind of told to you guys through Coach Hugh Jackson and the staff? Did they let you know about like what the expectation is at Grambling?
Oh yeah, they let us know all the time. See, recently we had a team bonding event. You know, it was fun at the stadium. You know, we had like the water events and everything, barbecue, all that, and the alumni came out. So it was like about 50, 60 alumni at the barbecue,
Wow.
and most I'll say half of them dudes and played in the NFL. So it's like
Wow.
you could just see, you can hear they when they talk to us, you can hear the championship mindset, you can hear the Eddie Rob, you can hear everything. They was telling us about how he was as a coach and just different things that he didn't let slide, which won championships. And it's like I love to brag about the history of Grambling. Like some of the people that don't know, they be, oh well, you went to Grambling. I'm like, well, dudes, you don't know that Grambling probably has more NFL players than your favorite college football team. You just don't even know it. Probably more than the college football teams in your conference combined. You just never know.
Absolutely.
And that's just how it is, man. That's at one point it was the Mecca. Like I love bragging about that. It's the Mecca at one point. Like the NFL came straight to Grambling before they went to some schools. And that's how I feel like I want to kind of just continue that tradition, continue that grind. Like I know offensive linemen hasn't been drafted from Graham in a minute, so I want to be one of the dudes that go out there and get drafted. Go. I ain't saying I'm gonna be first round, but I'm trying to get drafted. I want to reach that first round for sure.
Absolutely, man. And those are great goals to set for yourself, man, because like you said, a lot of people don't understand, especially, what's taking place. Grambling has just such a it's such so much history, but it's history. It's just that. And the recent history has been okay, but it's enriched with champions as far as winning celebration and winning Celebration Bowl, Black College National Championships, all the draft picks, all the Hall of Famers. It's just enriched in that program, and it's so much. And to hear you talk about how the alumni still come back and how the current coaching staff is letting you guys know, like, yo, you guys aren't just playing for anybody. You're playing for Grambling. And speaking of playing for Grambling, man, in college football, you guys are now allowed to take advantage of NIL opportunities. Just tell me about the NIL opportunities, some that you have come across, and how that's been able to benefit you.
Oh man, I'm loving the NIL opportunities right now. As an example, Grambling, we have our, we're still kind of getting in the mix. We got that big time, NFL, or I mean not NFL, but NIL deal, change coming up. That's the salary stuff. But the one I got right now is that's on the screen right now is my own clothing brand. When it comes to football gear, some of the alumni, people that come out to the game, my family, an example, me myself, my girl, all type of stuff. We will, what I'm saying, have this opportunity to go buy gear with my name on it, my last name, my jersey number, hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves, different things that I can, sell, as being a football player, taking care of my name, image, and likeness,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, let the people know this is Romello's collaboration with Campus Mogul. Campus Mogul, you can go on their website and find Romello's gear. Like you said, his stuff with his number, his name, and this will be able to benefit him directly. Now, Romello, this is awesome, man. I love seeing this stuff.
Oh yeah.
I wanna ask you also, outside of football, what are some of the things that you're into? What are some hobbies that you get into, and some of the things that you enjoy outside of working out and getting ready for the football season?
You always know I gotta go hit that basketball court. That's just second love at that point. I gotta go hoop. Man, sometimes when I come back home, man, it's like when I go to the gym, some of the dudes up there think they NBA All-Stars, and it's just, that's that environment, I gotta be around. I just used to it. I grew up to it, man. I've been going the gym I go to is called Fitness Connection, man. And shoot, you never know, like Cade Cunningham, the recent first round NBA draft pick. we're
Yeah.
all from Arlington, so it's like we all hooped. We grew up at that gym. Like everybody
Okay.
that doesn't know that we all hooped up at that gym. You had what's his name? Oh boy, he played for the Denver Nuggets, the point guard. He comes up there, he hoops too. It's like it's a lot of famous people that come up there and hoop. Mikey Williams flew out here from California one time to come hoop up there just to see what the competition was like. And man, shoot, you go up there, man, shoot, you getting a workout in at the same time having fun. You know.
So you put your basketball skills up against the Mikey Williams and the Kay Cunninghams of the world. You be holding your own against those guys?
Oh yeah, I played against all of them. I feel like I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna say that I'm the best, hooper, but hey, I feel like I can keep it up with them. I ain't really, I ain't
Hey,
no slouch
ain't
on that
nothing
court.
wrong. Ain't
You know
nothing
what I'm
wrong with
saying?
that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all, man. And Romello, one thing I like to ask, guests when I have them on here, especially football guys, I wish you the best in football and say you have a nice
Mm-hmm.
long 10, 15-year NFL career. But what is something you like to do outside of football, like once football is over with, after you have your 10, 15-year NFL career? You're still a young man. You're still like 40 years old. What is something that you think you'll get into once football is over with?
Man, if I'm blessed to have a 10, 15-year NFL career, man, I'm gonna live life to the fullest because that money gonna be set. So it's like the main thing with me is I love money, so it's like I'm gonna have to invest. That's just me. I'm gonna go into like a trucking company or
Okay.
businesses like around freight, moving freight, and I'm gonna go, since I'm from Texas. It's all good for me to go straight into oil. I'm gonna go right into the oil fields with it, go right in that, invest, because that money, that's long money. That's the way to create your money and keep your money long. So, and then I'm live life to the fullest. I'm gonna travel, do all type of stuff.
Absolutely, man. And that's a great way of thinking, man, because like you said, football at some point stops, but your life keeps
Mm-hmm.
going and you're still a young man even after football stops. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah,
even if you do 10 years in the league, like you're like 35, right? Like you'd be like
yeah.
34, 35, something like that. So you have a whole lot
Oh
of
yeah.
life to live at age 30, after age 35. And so that's awesome that you're thinking about that. The trucking, the oil, those are good businesses to get inside of, because they're always going to need people to move stuff. We're always going
Oh
to need gas. As high as these gas prices are right now, we always going to need that
whew.
stuff, man. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, man. So do you play any video games or anything like that? If you do, what are some of the games and stuff that you're into?
Oh yeah, I play every video game there is. I probably play almost every one. So I mean I love GTA, Grand Theft Auto, NBA
Okay.
2K, Madden. I'm a big Madden fan. I'll be on my ultimate team, stuff like that. Build a husband
Now,
team,
are you
like
the
little
best
money.
Madden player at Grambling, or is the guys on the team that's better than you?
I
Have
would
you ran it
argue
up?
I would argue and say I am, but some people come with, nah, he's not. I done beat him a couple times. Nah, but I feel like I'm the best. I'm gonna
Okay.
take that crown every time.
Uh, Hey, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, Romello, for those spring game, like I said, it was kind of confusing. You guys had a bunch of jerseys out there, but for
Mm-hmm.
those who will get a chance to see you this fall, who do you compare your game to? Who is someone that you kind of model your game after, or you say you kind of a similar style player? Is there anyone like that?
I'll say Big Quentin Nelson. For the Indianapolis
Yeah,
Colts.
it's a good
Yeah,
one.
one of the best offensive linemen in the league right now at this time. That dude, when he pulls, man, he demands respect. That's kind of how I feel like I play when I pull, and I do all type of stuff at the guard position.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Once again, we're talking to Romello Watson, offensive lineman at Grambling State University. Now, Romello, I'll get you out on this, man. For those, after seeing the spring game and all the excitement that's coming from that, you guys will probably add some more players come this summer and head into this
Mm-hmm.
fall camp. What can Graham fam expect from Romello this season and expect from the team this fall? I mean, I'm not asking you to put any wins or losses or say you're going to win this award, but just overall, just what are some of the words you use to describe yourself heading into this fall and the team heading into this fall 2022?
Wait, for Grand Fam, I expect y'all to see more of an explosive player. I'm trying to be the most explosive player in the SWAC. I'm trying to be the dude that just every time you turn on that tape, man, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's doing beyond his job. He's just going, crazy on the field. And like I told somebody else, I expect it to be a movie because it's like this. Some people, they put up the Jackson State, they put up Alabama A&M to win. They, FAMU. But at the end of the day, it's like this too. I feel like Graham gonna take it all, no matter what. I'm gonna sell that movie every time.
Absolutely, man. That's how you're supposed to feel. And I love to hear it. Once again, Romello Watson, Grambling State University offensive lineman. Hey, Romello, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day, man. Best of luck to you in the 2022 season. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. at the Black Boss Channel. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next.